Hey everyone, welcome back to the DJ Sessions presents the Virtual Sessions. I'm your host, Darren, and right now I'm sitting in the virtual studios in Seattle, Washington with the guys from the Bottom Line Podcast coming in from Mr. Taco and Jimmy. Where are you guys coming in from tonight?
What's going on? Well, first of all, thanks for having us, Darren. We appreciate it. I am coming from New Jersey.
New Jersey?
The sad state of New Jersey. I'm just kidding.
Sad.
Everything's all good here.
And Mr. Taco, where are you coming in from?
I'm coming out.
I
I'm
know.
coming from Chicago.
Yeah, there you go.
And Mr. Taco, where are you coming in from tonight?
I'm coming in from Chicago.
Chicago. All right. Well, you guys do a podcast series called the Bottom Line Podcast, and it's entertainment and sports, and we want to find out more about this and let our DJ Sessions fans know about your podcast series. So, who wants to take it first and tell us a little bit more about what the podcast series is all about?
I got this.
Go for it, boss,
All
man.
right. So, I mean, this did all start with me, didn't it? But anyway, no. In all seriousness, the idea for this podcast all started with me. It all started after I actually graduated from college. I started it a year after I graduated college because I've been wanting to do broadcasting for a while. I went to Monmouth University, and that helped me realize, that helped me realize my my future, that I wanted to do radio for a living. And that gave me the idea with being like, what if I were to start my own podcast to talk just sports? Because back then it was just strictly a sports podcast. So I did that. I started that back in January of 2017. And I got the idea to expand to sports and entertainment, ironically enough, in 2020, where everything went crazy, because I figured the niche audience is about the entertainment business. We all want to hear about things other than sports these days. So I figured, you know what? I'll expand on it, give it a shot. And I like to say it's done pretty well for itself. But yeah, that's pretty much how it all started. I've been going at this for all 5 years of its existence.
Nice. And so 5 years ago, so you didn't kind of jump on the bandwagon over the last few years and say, I want to jump on the podcast,
No.
And did it start out as a audio podcast or was it a video podcast? Because you mentioned radio, and that's
Right.
how a lot of people do get started. Sometimes they don't like how they look on camera, and they don't think they have that face. And sometimes some people say, I got a face for radio. Did you have any of that?
You don't have to tell me twice. But no, it did start off originally as an audio podcast. I got the idea of doing it from YouTube, actually from one of our former co-hosts, who's unfortunately not on the show anymore because he's doing his own thing with his own podcast. His name is Neil Villapiano. I was talking to him about possibly doing a video form, like expanding to YouTube, and he loved the idea, and we started that channel back in, I think it was over the summer. I think in like July of 2020, and I'd like to say it's really taken off ever since we started YouTube, because YouTube definitely has a great following. A lot of people pay attention to what goes on there. I know the algorithm is garbage, but that's beside the point. But yeah, I just wanted to get myself more comfortable with like showing myself on video, because back then I hated how I looked personally. I just figured, like, if I can get over that in all seriousness, then I can definitely make a difference in people's lives with something like this. And yeah, like I said, I definitely like to think that it definitely bode well for itself.
And now you've grown the show a little bit more over 5 years. Mr. Taco, when did you join on the Bottom Line? When did you get involved with the Bottom Line Podcast?
It's been about a year now. It's a little more than a year. One of those things
were you recruited by Jimmy, or were you a longtime fan and said, I'd like to be a part of this? Are you guys friends? How did you two meet each other?
It was more of a we had come together. We were oddly put together, nothing about each other. Nothing about anybody else in this chat, and we all became it came to a point where I came to him and I said, "Hey, if you're ever looking for somebody else to come in and help you guys out, platforms, I on Twitch a lot. I know YouTube well. If you guys needed somebody, let me know." And sure enough, why don't you come on? We'll start you off with your own segment. And man, I did 2 episodes of Hockey Talk and 1 episode with everybody in the. And after that 1 episode, I had come back to him and I said, "Ain't no segment anymore. I just want to go in and be there with you guys, just so I have the ability to bounce ideas and everything off of you guys."
Mm-hmm. Awesome. I've never done a co-host before. I've had multiple guests on before,
Right.
but co-hosting, we can usually have we're the one interviewer, traditional podcasting, traditionally interviewing one person, but I saw that one of your shows, I believe, had multiple guests on it. I want to say almost like 7 or 8 guests.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that
I know
episode.
exactly which one you're referring
I know
to.
exactly what
This was before.
Take that, 'cause I wasn't there.
This was before he was an official co-host on the show. But yeah,
Okay.
let me explain. So, first of all, the group chat he's referring to is, former group chat anyway. Has to do with a band that we know personally. Not on here, but anyway, we joke like this a lot every day. It happens, but anyway, so we're friends with a band based out of Erie, Pennsylvania, known as First 211, and that's how me and this guy got to know each other, because we know the band personally. They've been great supporters of our podcast for a while, and they had hit at the time back in January of 2021. They had just hit 1 million subscribers, and I got the idea with saying, "Hey, why don't we surprise them by inviting all of their friends on to congratulate them and basically talk about like how they first met, what their favorite covers were to do together, like just share stories of like their career so far." And that's one of our most popular episodes to date, as we see Austin's having a couple of camera difficulties there. Again, as long as they can hear you, we're okay, so don't worry about it. But anyway, but yeah, I thought it was a really good idea. Again, it's one of our more popular episodes, and yeah, ever since then, they've become really good friends of ours. We still stay in touch with them, and yeah, it's really taken off ever since.
And I was curious. I saw an episode as well where you were kind of critiquing a music video, and you were saying, "What is this cheese all about up here?"
Yes.
And I'm kind of like, what does this have to do with sports entertainment? I wasn't sure. Tell us a little bit about what that episode's all about.
Oh man, that was really funny. I love how you mentioned that.
Exactly what I was
that's actually so that's part of the reason why I expanded to entertainment, because we wanted to grow our audience more, and clearly it shows because you noticed that episode, and thank you first of all. And secondly, the idea for reaction videos, actually, I bounced them off of this guy right here. And so we both conjured up that idea. We figured, you know what? Why not start a series every week? Like where one day a week or twice a week we'll do reaction videos. And that was one of the first reaction videos we ever did. There was one that I did a while back, again, before he was an official co-host. But this was like our first official reaction video, like together for this particular series. And that was actually that was for a song by a band called Dance Gavin Dance. And it was just the weirdest video I've ever seen in my life. And literally, the reason why I was bringing that up with the cheese thing is because there was a scene in the video where Austin, who was it again? Was it the Rat King you were talking about in that music video we saw?
Yeah, the Rat King.
Yeah, the Rat King. Okay, that's what I thought. And he was holding up like a piece of cheese, and I was like, he was handing it to the lead singer, and I said, "Is it supposed to be like a peace offering to end this war that's going on between the fruits and stuff?" I'm like, "What's going on here?" And apparently people really loved it. So we said, you know what? We're going to continue with this series. And people have been blowing it up like crazy. So it's been fantastic.
Well, speaking of people, definitely want to give some shout outs to some people in the chat room right now. Andrew H.
I see 3 people we know in there.
Andrew H. Matthew. Wait, they must be your viewers because we're able to simulcast this to multiple stations, not only to our platforms, but it's also going to your platforms at the same time, which is just awesome with this new Restream studio setup that we're using, and we're really excited about it. I'm gonna let you give the shout outs to them. Are you able to see who it is? Because you know these people.
Yeah, so
all right,
Andrew.
You can have Andrew. You can have
but
Andrew.
Andrew.
I see my boy Maddie in there. I see Maddie.
Yes, so Andrew, I actually know personally. He's actually been following me on this journey for all 5 years as well. So we call him the OG fan. He's the OG for a reason. He's been following me since the very beginning of this podcast. So shout outs to him on that one. But he's actually gotten more involved now with the show as he actually joins us regularly on our live streams. So we've gotten him involved. And Austin, if you want to take it away with Matt, who's also involved in our live streams, we can explain how.
I don't know how to take it away
guy here
with Matt, other than it's just Matt.
However you can, man. However you can.
That's all I got for you. It's just Matt. He's unpredictable.
That's no. I think that story goes. I think you introduced me to him, didn't you, Austin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Friend of mine. We play a lot of Xbox and stuff together. He had been watching the podcast because he's like, "Oh, you guys are doing this and that, and all the sports talk you guys do is cool and yada yada." And I had finally said, "You know what? We're gonna get him involved somehow," and that's when the live stream started. Therefore, we got him involved.
Yes.
Awesome. And then want to give a shout out to Sean. Sean, he had to give a shout out to Loving the Seattle Cap as well. I want to say thank you to the people that are in the chat room right now with us. Thank you for tuning in. And it gives us a great segue because both, Matt and Andrew are here. And you're talking about earlier about your live streams and what you do about that. Because you don't just have a podcast series where it's how often do you release podcasts?
We have decided that a month ago we were going to release episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Wow, that's a very aggressive production schedule, but you
We try.
you do live streams on top of that. Let our DJ Sessions fans know a little bit about what those live streams entail.
So they mainly entail. Yes, we know you're the intern, Matt. We're aware. We mentioned that to you already, but anyway.
You guys want to see something really cool? Watch this.
Oh gosh.
There
we go. Now we can actually see. Perfect. So anyway, yeah, exactly. No, so I do too. So our live streams have mainly consisted of NHL and MLB, which is National Hockey League, and Major League Baseball watch parties. And Austin, how did we come up with that idea again?
It was the idea I came to you with after.
Yeah, I knew you did somehow. Yes.
Yes, it was our idea to take over where the slap shot sweethearts left off. Because
because they're other friends of ours because they haven't live streamed in a bit, so we figured what we'll pick up the slack for them, and again, positive reactions. But I think we are going to be planning on doing more than just sports live streams because, like I said, sports and entertainment. We want to expand on that, so. We do have plans for future entertainment-involved live streams. We can't say them yet because they're still in the works, but stay tuned. Stay tuned. If you're not following us on social media, which we'll get more into in a little bit, you'll find out more in a bit. Don't worry.
Have you ever run into the issue when watching a live event I mean, Zoom should be 1-to-1, but is there ever any delay and one of you are like, yeah, and the other one's like, why are you screaming?
All the time.
All the dang time. All the time.
All the time. But it's okay. We enjoy it. We enjoy doing it no matter what.
No, literally, there was a time where I was literally 1 minute ahead of intern Matt, and he had no idea why I was mad. And he was like, and a minute later, he was like, "What just happened?"
Yeah, it's interesting. You don't understand. Like, people never understood when we were doing a live streaming DJ show that while we're doing it in real time and we're in the studio and we're bouncing up and down and we're rocking to the song, they might be hearing it 30 seconds to a minute later, and so they'll be like, "Dang, that was a sick drop," but they're saying it was a sick drop because they're getting it a minute and a half later, and we're already like, "Oh, really? That was a sick drop." So that whole latency issue, is there with streaming. It's like the sportscast; they have a delay. I remember I knew somebody back in the day, and they would listen to the football games on the radio because the radio were almost in like real time, whereas the TV had the 1 minute delay on it, so they could hear everything that was going on. And they turned the TV audio off and listened to the radio broadcast.
Right.
Game, just because it was faster. So, just wonder if there ever happened. Matthew said he remembers that.
Of course you do. You remember all of our live streams, boy. I know you.
So moving to the entertainment side of things, I guess you've also had. Did I also see that you had some live streamers on the show as well? I saw there was a girl. It looked like she was in a chair. Was that a live streamer? Do you interview live streamers as well? Live streamer esports, is esports something
that was not us? No, that was not us.
No.
Wait, what, Austin? What?
He's talking about he's talking.
Oh, my one-on-one series. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Please continue. I apologize.
No, it's okay. But you that's where I was going. I thought I saw that you might be interviewing people that are esports people as well. I wasn't sure. I just kind of saw the episode. It looked like she was a gamer. She looked like she was in her gaming chair.
No. She wasn't a gamer. That actually is somebody named Violet Orlandi. She's a singer from Brazil. And that actually is not only is that our most popular episode, period, with 11,000 views and counting, but it's actually one of the more popular interviews that I personally have ever done. I did not think that many people actually cared, but it's absolutely crazy, and it's still growing to this day. I'm actually surprised.
Yeah, and I'm still upset.
Yeah,
I couldn't help it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It was funny. We had to back in the day we had to kind of abandon the YouTube platform because of licensing issues and music. And I had a producer account at the time. It was something you had to apply for. This is like back in 2006, 5, 7, somewhere around there. And we kept getting copyright notifications on our account. And I didn't want to lose my producer status, so we kind of moved away from YouTube. But we had this interview I did backstage once, and she kind of got out of everything out. But the artist by the name of Kesha?
Yes.
Kesha. So we had a chance to interview her. She was just starting her first West Coast tour with Mickey Avalon and Beardo, and she was in Seattle. Yeah. We're backstage to interview Mickey Avalon, and then we ended up grabbing an interview with Beardo and Kesha. I did not know anything about Kesha at the time. So I'm interviewing her completely on the raw, had no questions. But the coolest thing she did is she took it and she reposted that interview to her blog, and I think put it out to her socials at the time. I can't remember what year that was.
Wow.
But it blew up, and it's done like, gosh, I could probably look it up and and just, there we go. Kesha interview. It's been stuck. This is 12 years ago. So what is that? 2010.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Right at the beginning of your, but it got to like 37,000 downloads in the first few weeks of it, and I'm like,
wow.
whoa, because finally an artist shared one of our shows, and put it out there on the social just one time. She wasn't constantly sharing it. And then the whole thing went down with her and her producer or label or whatever, all that, but I guess she's coming out of that now, which is really kind of awesome.
Right.
But, it's interesting how fast something can blow up online without you even thinking about it. The power of the hashtag.
Yep.
Power of the @ mention, if people share the content, because producers like us and your team, we're doing a lot of hard work. We're putting these episodes in. We're getting guests to come on the show. And
Right.
It's always nice when that guest gives you that kickback, like, hey, guess what? I was on the show the other day. Hey, guess what? I was over here the other day. They give you that accolade, that endorsement in a sense. And it's
Absolutely.
always nice, to see that happen. And when you cross that threshold where, you have people requesting to be on your show rather than you're knocking on everyone's door. They're not coming and knocking on your door saying, I'd love to get on. And, that's kind of how we found each other. We were talking about that pre-show, and how we're expanding our reach with the DJ sessions to start talking to more podcasters, more people out there. There's a lot of information, a lot of interesting topics. And,
Right.
We want to know and grow with those podcasters. It's always been in our mission to help those. I used to say I'll give 98% of my information away because, like you said, everything out there is online. You can find it. If you can think about it, there's probably a YouTube video for it. And if not, make that YouTube video for it and you'll probably go viral.
Exactly.
But, now I say I give away about 97% of my information after 2020 because everyone jumped on and started doing it. But, you got a good concept going there and keep it going, guys, because,
Thank you.
You're going to find a target audience out there and somebody's going to like what you jive with. And I had this one time, I did an interview on a podcast with somebody and somebody out in the ether listened to that podcast. And then they went back and listened to the podcast that I was referencing that I did with an attorney. This is about copyright law.
Ooh.
So that person that heard that podcast went and told their friend, who is the CEO of Mixcloud,
Oh, shoot.
that I was talking about copyright law in this podcast series. CEO of Mixcloud went and listened to that episode, then went back and listened to the episode that I did with the lawyer, Gordon Firemark out of LA, who's a copyright attorney, and hit me up online saying, Darren, I want to interview on your show. And I thought it was a practical joke. I didn't believe it. I thought it was like somebody's playing a joke on me. And so I went and looked him up on LinkedIn and I sat on it for a minute and I hit him back up. I say, hey, Nico, are you serious? Did you reach out to me and want to do an interview on our show? And he's like, yeah, man, I'd love to be on your show. You're talking about the one thing that we're trying to have everyone else in the industry talk about, but nobody else is talking about it and nobody else gets it. You do, and you're in the middle of it. And we created this whole platform over here called Mixcloud, which is amazing and does this for artists. And I was like, wow, this is cool. So you never know who's listening. And also, I know I talked with you guys a little bit before about virtual reality.
Yeah.
And I think what you guys are doing would be a great fit for the virtual reality crowd as well. The new Bastion, and we'll talk offline a little bit about that. But, where are your goals? What are your ambitions for this series? Where would you like to see it, other than, of course, downloads and a bunch of money coming in? Where would you like to see it grow to?
Go ahead, Austin. Right. You got that one?
All right, time to pull up that tweet from months ago. Okay.
Oh, no. Here we go. he's pulling up something. He's pulling up something here. But while he pulls that up, I'll take the reins from here. But we actually are almost at 300 subscribers on YouTube, which is great. So thank you guys so much for that. I guess one of the main goals that we just set for the end of the year, at least, is that, and this might be a bit of a stretch, but we want to try and hit 1,000 subscribers. Again, I know that's a bit of a stretch, but if we can do it by the end of 2022 or by the beginning of 2023, that would be tremendous. And I just want like people to, I know a lot of people do care, don't get me wrong, but I just want more people to just spread the word about us. I mean, look, I know it's a very confusing podcast to follow at first. I understand, because one day we're talking about sports, one day we're doing entertainment stuff, like reaction videos, interviews, all that other stuff. I know it's confusing, but to those that have stuck by us, thank you. And I just want everybody to spread the word more about us and get our name out there. That's pretty much all I want.
Yeah, definitely. 2 words I could say: Reddit and Discord.
We have a
well,
Reddit
we do have one of them. We do have a Discord server, so
Yeah,
we got
we
that covered.
technically have two of them both, but I've been MIA on the Reddit for a while.
Oh, I forgot about that. Oh,
yeah,
my
it's just
goodness.
about getting that. I mean, and I should say a third word: hashtags. You know,
Yes.
and
I've
if
been
you
using
can,
a lot of them lately.
You know what? I have to bring on a social media manager because I used to do everything myself, and like I said, it was 2020 when I finally brought on my first assistant, Kevin from New York.
Right.
Now I have Luke, who's in the UK. I have John, who's in Thailand. I got another intern that I'm bringing on here local. I got a VR developer in Germany. I got web developers and I think Russia.
See,
and
this
my
is
app
what we wish our
developers.
podcast
Actually,
would
a team
be.
in Russia.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know,
Like,
if I tried
it wasn't
and I
just
tried
the
doing
two of
all
us-
that myself.
If it wasn't just the two of
John.
us, if we had more people backing us, as in social media, people to help us look for more interviews, all that good stuff. If it was just not just the two of us,
that's what I'm saying too. Like, if we had an editor, if we had social media, you know how much time.
You know what? You wouldn't even need an editor, Jimmy. You can do the editing. I'm just saying we need more people out there that can help on social medias and whatnot, because running it
that is true. That
a
is true.
two-man show, it's tough.
That is true. Yeah, no, it is.
Like I was saying, I was running mine for 10 years as kind of a one-man show doing everything. And it wasn't until we started going, you know, kind of growing exponentially until I started delegating out. But the thing is, I thought, oh, this is going to get easier because I'm delegating more and more out. No, I pile more shit on my plate. You know, I pile more and more and more. Come on, my own crew tries to follow us in the team Discord. And they'll be like, Darren, how do you do all this? How do you keep this all going? How do you keep it all up? And I have people that help, but again, then I'm like, oh, we're launching a new division in Phoenix. Oh, okay, Darren. Like, yeah, a whole nother division of the company and everything going on down there. We're planning trips around the world, you know, tons of stuff going on. But it does start somewhere. You guys are starting in the right place. And looks like we lost
internet problems again.
That's all good. I'll bring him right back in just like
There
that.
we go.
Yay, magic.
There we go. We got him.
And I can even put it right back in the right order. Hey,
There we
now I
go.
know how
That's
fast
good.
that comes and goes.
I love it.
This is why we test everything and we know how fast something can get right back up and running immediately. I'm glad to see that, Mr. Taco, you actually bounced out for a second, but you bounced right back in. I was able to bring you right back in. Technology, I love it. Whereas if somebody had the Zoom link, they got to come out, then they got to come back in.
No,
you got to let them in.
annoying.
And it's like, okay, yeah, nope. I love this. I'm falling more in love with this restreams. I'm going to standardize on this probably for our live interviews, anyways.
I agree. I agree. You should.
But you know, I was talking about the growth and it all starts somewhere, you know, and you know, you'll know when you get to that point when you can't do it all yourself, you know, and you're like, hey, let me bring on this person, or you can start delegating and getting things, you know, with other people. But I believe the best thing that I needed to do was do it all myself. So I kind of knew all aspects of it. Now, if I went into doing VR nightclubs and building what I built and what we have there, no, I hired a developer for that. Just like my friend was saying, I'm like, gosh, it's going to cost me like thousands and thousands of dollars. And he's like, but Darren, do you want to spend the time doing it and take 2 years to get up and running, or do you want to be up and running tomorrow? And I said, I really want to be up and running tomorrow. He goes, spend the money. You know, I mean, I would never be able to dev the site that I got. I can manage the site that I have, but dev it and build it and make it, no. That would take me having graphic artist skills, web programming skills, web design. No. Let me be who I want to be, the executive producer. And I always do tell people about, you know, the website Fiverr. It's a great resource for podcasters. I mean, the logo, I was just on the last show, the logo you're looking at right behind us, I got that off Fiverr about 6 years ago. I think I paid $50 for it. You know, I paid $50 because I wanted it the next day, but I could have done it for I expedited it. But there's a logo. You can get voiceovers, jingles. I mean, I think Fiverr is a really great resource for independent podcasters, and it's not going to break your bank,
Right.
you know. But there's other ways to find people out there that can help out and do things. Just watch out for the scam artist people. You know, those kind of people that are in the podcast forums. Hey, I'll promote your podcast for giving.
Yep.
Yeah, I actually just saw one the other day saying, hey, if you have $10,000 to spend, we'll get you ranked on the top 100 podcasts in the world, in the top 10 and the top 100 in your category. And I'm like, people are like, what? 10 grand? Yeah, I just have 10 grand just laying around. I mean, you must be looking for people that made money off of Bitcoin or something right now, or, you know, I don't know, whatever it is. But,
Be kidding me.
you know, growing organically, I think that goal of getting to 1,000 people by the end of the year, that's attainable. I mean, well, we got 6 months left, so you need 700. So, I mean, about 100 a month, 25 people a week. Pound that pavement, guys. Pound that
almost.
pavement, you know. Now, do you cover local events, or is this more like national sporting events? Do you do anything on the local level?
Yeah, it's primarily local, but we do cover like stuff like outside of the New York, New Jersey area. Like we'll do the Lakers, we'll do like the Bucks, we'll do the Saints, we'll do other baseball teams, we'll do freaking Vegas. Sorry about the internet difficulties, people, but don't worry about it. But yeah, we'll do we know Austin, but we'll do the Vegas Golden Knights, we'll do the Seattle Kraken, we'll do a variety.
Kraken!
Oh, there you go. There's another Kraken fan right there, Austin. But yeah, we'll basically do.
Said I was a fan. I bought it because the jersey was hot. There's a reason there's a reason the jersey's blue.
Oh well, yeah.
Until I decide to send it out and get a Tanev jersey.
Alex Tanev. Oh my God. That's where we're going, really?
Yes, that's where we're going.
Hence my point. We'll do anything and everything.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. I mean, you know, it takes time to develop a brand. I mean, when people, you know, saw me when I first did a television series, my first television series called Phantasmagoria, which I exec produced to Fox back in the day. You know, that show actually branched out and became 3 separate shows.
Ooh.
Then when we rebranded as ITV, we went and added 5 more shows, 5 more different series under the ITV umbrella. And everyone's like, wait a second, why don't you just pick one and focus on that? I'm like, but that's not what I'm going for. I'm trying to create a network here, not a TV show, and place that on a network. I wanted the network of shows that we could do. And out of that, we got into live streaming, which then started producing the show, The DJ Sessions, which is our live streaming show. And now if you go to the DJ Sessions, I mean, you look at what the DJ Sessions has, and like, it's not just the DJ Sessions. We have the DJ Sessions. Let's say the event. So we have the mobile sessions. We have silent concert disco. We have the 7B's brunch series. We have the mobile sessions. We have the virtual sessions. We have the on location sessions. We have the state of the industry sessions. We have the rooftop sessions. We have the secret sessions. And we have exclusive mixes, you know. So, I mean, those are all branches out in their own series, but it's all under the DJ Sessions umbrella. But we can branch it out like that. And, you know, you can do that with a podcast. You know, you can simply, you get a website, you go, this episodes are going to go here. These episodes are going to go here. It's the whole chain of podcasts. So it's all one big one. But you get your website, you can break it down into separate channels and control your own branding, which I think that's a big thing that I can let a friend of mine talk about this online a lot, or he talks about it on Facebook a lot and pushes it out there to artists, saying you need to be controlling your own branding. You know, get your domain name, get your website, get your logo, even if it's just a basic website, and you can get something up there. I talked with these podcasters today. They interviewed me on their show a couple weeks ago, and we're supposed to have some offline discussions, and came back, and in that show, they said, check this out. We got a domain name. We got a website. And it looked pretty damn good for their first website. At least it was a website. It listed their podcast links. It listed some items from their store. It listed an about section, you know, all on this homepage. And they're like, we're moving. I'm like, yeah, control your own brand. Control what you got.
Absolutely.
What are some of the things that you've learned? What's the biggest lesson you've learned, Jimmy, after doing this for 5 years, that the biggest lesson or piece of advice you give to somebody that wants to get into podcasting or live streaming, because this is relevant because a lot of our viewers are DJs and they're doing the live streaming thing, but I don't see a lot of them turning it into podcasts, you know? So what's your one lesson? 5 years in the game.
Man, I guess my main thing is just be consistent, but at the same time, if you ever feel that you need to take a break, do it, because Austin knows there have been times where I've been wanting to. I've taken many breaks from this podcast. Ask him; he would know. We actually had to take a little bit of a mental health break due to reasons for that. But be as consistent as you can, but always remember to take care of yourself in the process, because your health should be your number one priority always, now and forever. So that would basically be my main message. Consistency and mental breaks are very important.
I couldn't agree with you more on that, because I, over the course of, let's say 17 years with the ITV brand and moving into the DJ Sessions brand, I burnt out about 4 or 5 times. Where I just didn't want to pick up a camera, didn't want to do any interviews, and had to learn to start really being focused on my to-do lists and making sure that I prioritize what I do on those to-do lists, but making sure I have a schedule. You know, I wake up I get out of bed, hit the computer at a certain time of day, at a certain time of night, I stop at the computer and I'm off. If something comes up, I write it down on my to-do list and I'll get to it tomorrow, but at least it's not stuck in my head and it floats away. I put it down on the to-do list. I put it in my phone so I can come back and go, oh, that's right, I remember that. Let me get to that. Just like I think we were sitting here and had a jump over and go, oh, make a VR thing for the website, you know? And because I wouldn't have remembered, unless I wrote that down, I wouldn't have remembered to making that link, that new page for the website, or just taking that link and going boop and going for the website. And no, it's back and forth. It's all good. It happens.
And we're still making it work. It doesn't matter.
We're still making it work. It's all good. Well, we're going live right now. And you know, is there anything you want to let our DJ Sessions fans know about before we let you get going?
Just for those that have stuck around with us for all 5 years, like Andrew has over in the comments. I see you, Andrew, and we all see you. Don't worry. Thank you so much in all seriousness. And secondly, I guess, again, like I said, my main goal is to I want people to spread the word about us more, just trying to generate more revenue, because I want this podcast to go places it's never gone before. And I'm sure this guy to my left can say the same exact thing. Like we want to do big things for this show, and we are planning to, for not just the rest of this year, but for 2023. We already have major plans for 2023 that are in the works right now. So stay tuned for updates in the future on that. This guy's been mainly coming up with the plans here for next year. But yeah, for those that do come across this and are new and want to check out what we're all about, all of our social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok is all the same handle, at Bottomline WMCX. Again, at Bottomline WMCX, not NM. So that's how you can find us. You can find us on YouTube, Apple, Google, Spotify, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, Amazon Music, pretty much everywhere. Although I may want to take you up on Fiverr as well, because we're not on Fiverr yet, so I'll definitely take you up on that. But you got to make sure that you include Jimmy when searching for this podcast, because there's a million other podcasts out there named the same thing. So in order to find us, you have to include Jimmy. Or again, like I said, you can find us on all social media at Bottomline WMCX.
Awesome. Jimmy, Mr. Taco, thank you so much for coming on the DJ Sessions presents the virtual sessions this evening.
Wow, Darren, we can't we can't thank you enough. Thank you so much for having us. We truly appreciate it. And hey, you're gonna be on our show next week, so
there we go.
We gotta plug that next week, next Friday. We'll say right now, next Friday we're having this guy, on our show. Well, the episode will be out on Friday, but next Thursday we'll be recording it around 7:30 or 7 p.m. Eastern time. So stay tuned. Next Friday, this guy's coming on our show, so stay tuned. Again, thank you so much, Darren. We can't wait to talk to you next week.
Absolutely, Jimmy. Mr. Taco, thank you so much for coming on the series.
Anytime. Thank you.
Absolutely. On that note, don't forget to go to our website, thedjsessions.com. On there, you can find out all our socials, our TikTok, our Instagram, our Twitter, the Meta thing. You know, it's out there. Follow us on Twitch as well. Find out when we go live, because now we got the new and improved live streaming interview, and we're going to be putting up the live event schedule on our website. So you'll be able to see all the artists and podcast interviewees that are coming up months out. Well, not months out, but at least 40 days out, because that's about as far as our calendar goes.
Oh, actually,
go ahead.
I don't mean to cut you off, Darren. I apologize.
No, you're good.
I did forget to mention one more thing.
Yeah.
Our live streams.
Yes.
How you can find out about those. We do have a Twitch account. Again, same thing. Twitch.tv/bottomlinewmcx. We live stream on there, on our YouTube channel, and on Twitter almost every week. So if you want to find out more about when we stream, you can follow us on there. And again, all of our social media is still the same.
Awesome. Jimmy, thanks for highlighting that. I'm glad, because there are two kind of separate things. Again,
Yes.
Look him up on Twitch. Look him up on Twitch, but use Jimmy.
Yes.
See right there. Jimmy. Use Jimmy when you search for The Bottom Line. As a matter of fact, we're going to use this new little feature here. The Bottom Line Podcast.
There we go.
Oh, yeah, I like it.
All
like
right,
it.
guys. That's right. Don't forget to go to the djsessions.com, find out all the information about the shows, and they'll be up there soon enough. Again, these are the guys with the Bottom Line Podcast, Jimmy and Mr. Taco. I'm Darren for the virtual sessions. And remember, on the DJ sessions, the music never stops.